Selamlar. Bugün otantik beauty konseptin otantik güzellik hareketi için son derece otantik bir mekandayız. Hilton Sarıgerme'de, Dalaman'da ve çok önemli bir misafirimiz var. Çok güzel bir kesim eğitimini kuaför dostlarıyla paylaştı. HESTER WERNET RIJN. Şimdi onunla biraz sohbet edeceğiz. Umarım sizlerin de hoşuna gidecektir.
Well, not especially not in Dalaman, but it's my first time to go to Turkey and to do like an event like this. So for me, this is the first time. Oh well, everything is really good arranged, and the thing is when it's warm and you have like nice people around you, and also everyone that chooses to work for Authentic Beauty Concept has a certain thoughts and values in life. So we're all looking forward to, very eager to learn new things, especially when it comes to like authentic hair cutting techniques and effortless styling techniques. I hope that they've learned a lot today, but it was nice also to share it with everyone. Yeah, this is what I said. Like, I think, I don't think, I see they were very interested because I also like to play with them. Like if I do something like, do you want to try it out? So you can feel and touch there. That's something that's more, if you have more interaction, hairdressers are feeling more, they're more eager to try it out. It's also sort of an ego thing, like I can do that. And then they come on stage like, oh, it's not working out. And then in the end, they get it and you see that they're smiling. So yeah, and I also ask very honest to them, like, are you going to use these? There are very small techniques that I use, that we normally use for when we do shows and shoots, but also to incorporate that for in the salon. Well, I always wanted to be a hairdresser since I'm 4 years old. And for me, that was not something that I wanted to change in my life. So when there was a moment that, school asked me if I would stay in school for a longer time, I was like, no, I really want to be a hairdresser. And then I found out that I wanted to give trainings when I was around 16, 17, and then I wanted to have my own salon. And then when I was 20, I wanted to be more self-independent. So I traveled to South Africa, worked there as a hair and makeup artist. And then, there's so many steps that I made in my life. My main goal in hairdressing was to know everything in different direction. So if it would be hair implants, or if it would be if someone is sick, or different braidings, or different culture. I always found it very interesting. So if there was someone in my chair, I would never need to say, no, I can't do your hair because I don't know how to do it. So in the last couple of years, I think I'm 43 now. So when I was 20, I started also to do freelance work. And I started to assist Eugene Solomon for 14 years as a first assistant. So I went with him to Yoji Yamamoto, Alexander McQueen, and moments that when you're a first assistant, you can take shows. Then I do my own shoots, and then I got like Missoni and Tom Ford. And when I was 25, I started Mojin, my salon in Amsterdam. It's a little bit of everything. And I also gave trainings to hairdressers worldwide, I think for the last 15 years. And when Authentic Beauty Concept came on my path, it was just the right moment that I was totally in ease of everything that I knew in my life. And I still like to learn, so that never stops. I hope when I'm 80, if you would pick up the hair, I'll be like, oh, that's so brilliant! You get a different texture, and I would still eager to learn. I will always open my heart. That I would always tell hairdressers, like, never be quiet, or don't always think that you already know everything. Well, I think I was always very polite. So I don't mind to step back if I know that my next step will be 100 meters further than in the moment that I was standing at that time. So you know, I always worked hard. I think till I was 36, I worked 6-7 days, sometimes till 4 o'clock in the night. I did a long time the Coiffure Awards in the Netherlands, which sometimes I worked at 4 o'clock in the night, and then my husband came with drinks and food, like, hey! And then I put like a wig on his head, like, no, can you walk to see if the balance is all right? And I also, with those steps, like, I always wanted to show that I was capable of making different styles, from very natural to, you know, pret-a-porter, ready to wear, to avant-garde hair. And with the Coiffure Awards in Holland, I can't participate anymore, but every time I participated, I think I had 21 awards now. And now I'm in the Hall of Fame. So, but I just really love to make hair, and I really wanted to show people that if you do this and you make it imperfect, and then when there's wind or a certain way of making a picture, that it became more 3D and working with different colors. And I mean, that's, I just love hair. It's like working with fabric. It can change every time you touch it. Because when you win 3 times Hairdresser of the Year, then you come in the Hall of Fame, and then you come. I think a lot of hairdressers were happy because every time they saw, like, oh no, Hester's she's participating again. But I mean, it's also not that no one made the effort, but I always went, I think, further than far. I don't know how to pronounce that in English.
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, and then working with Authentic Beauty Concept was the time that I was more relaxed. I mean, I did my shoots and I traveled, and I'm a mom of 3 children. So it's more, I mean, Authentic Beauty Concept came on the right time. I loved to work for a brand that was starting from scratch, which is, you know, that I could go in the lab and really understood how to build up a brand, how to interest hairdressers, also the way thinking about how we can improve the world. I mean, we're hairdressers. It's not that we save the planet a lot because of the coloring and, you know, the amount of water that we use. So at least if we can make a step forward somewhere, then it should be products. So I was very pleased to develop with them and do co-creation with products for Authentic Beauty Concept. I mean, I worked for different other brands before, and you know, and I was always happy because there was always a learning process in that. But Authentic, I was a little bit scared when they asked me, like, yeah, you know, I came from 8.5 years working for a brand that I really knew, to work for a brand that it's not recognized yet, and no hairdressers knew what it was, and you know, it was vegan and free form, and I thought, like, oh, is it maybe too how do you say, too organic, you know? And now I've noticed that you know, we really make the brand rock and roll, and I think it's really nice to see that we started from very beautiful, organic, you know, perfectly imperfect hair, and now we upgraded a little bit to doing more styling, how to do intermixing, make it more also even more fashionable, but still in a very cool and elegant way. Yes, I changed some things in the salon, but I was already there. So like, you know, if you come to my salon, I made designed tables with mirrors, and the tables are made from wood, and the wood comes from underneath the train rail station. So it's already used, so it's not new. And then steel, because steel is also sustainable because it lasts for a long time. I like to use, I mean, a lot of people now have dried flowers in their salon, and instead of, I mean, I love flowers, don't get me wrong, but dried flowers, they have like also a certain emotion, and you don't need to, I mean, everything is over processed, and you can buy so many clothes, and there's so much food, and so if we reduce some little things, I think that would be also a little bit better for the world. And like, we don't have cookies in plastic. We have like nuts because it's also healthy. My clients love it. And I have like pure chocolate raisins because pure chocolate makes you happy. So there's a little balance. But also like with the lighting and using the different lights, and also having an air conditioning, so we can control the amount of electricity that we use. Yeah, so there are, I mean, there are little steps, but at least, you know, I make my own ripple. And with Authentic Beauty Concept, the whole concept behind the brand, I mean, also the beliefs. I mean, you choose, I mean, there are certain people that choose for that. So this is why, even though I'm here in Turkey, or if I would be in, I don't know, Paris, if you choose to work with Authentic Beauty Concept, you have a certain way of living. And I've noticed that it's a very beautiful community. Like all the hairdressers are very kind, more relaxed. I mean, it's not like a competition that we have with each other. Yeah, it's more loving. I mean, and it's nice to share knowledge with each other. And even though, you know, it's a vegan brand and freeform, and people think it's very organic, I mean, it's a very cool brand. And also a very clever brand, how they position themselves in, you know, refill station bar. I mean, that's super cool that they can do that. And it's not the solution for everything yet, but at least it's a beginning. It's also when you get, I mean, my daughter is 9.5, Tiger Lily, and then Splinter and Zipper, they're twin boys, they're almost 5. I mean, also when you're a parent, your perspective of life changes. And I want them to be proud of me, that I maybe accomplished something that would make their world better when I'm not there anymore. So this was the most logic reason to work also with Authentic Beauty Concept.
Wow.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not I mean, there's so many brands. I also like to work with a brand that there's a little bit power behind it, and that they really can improve something in their life. And I think Henkel is a mother company. They have a lot of experience in the hairdressing industry, and I think this is a brilliant step for them to really improve something in the hairdressing industry. Oh, there you. This is,
Okay,
they always ask me like, "Do you have one?" I'm like, I can't choose one. I think if you would,
I have one actually.
Yeah, but I mean,
shampoo.
Yeah, you have
that I
shampoo.
only use. That is the only product that I'm using.
No, I think if you would look in my bag, like my toilet bag, I would have to start off the hydrate cleanser and the hydrate conditioner to nourish my hair, and I would always have a flawless primer. I mean, this is my own hair, but I like my hair that's like more like a lion. So then you have to layer. Products. So a flawless primer, then a Nim salt spray for my roots. If I would have time to blow dry my hair, then I would also have an amplify mousse. Then a working hairspray if I would use a curling iron to get a little bit of texture. I would love to have the powder. I think I would have the whole range. Most.
Okay. I get it. Oh.
No, because it's like makeup. You can do like only your mascara. That would be your flawless primer. If you would have a salt spray, you do your eyebrows. I mean, so you can build up. The bigger, the little bit more you need. I think people don't want to have any bullshit anymore. I think that's maybe a little bit harsh to say, but I mean, they want to see real things. You know, same with models. You know, in the old days it was size 00, and now you have all different sizes. So we embrace more people instead of having one group, and that group is perfect. So that for me is a nice change to see. And during COVID, I mean, people are getting more clever in how to do trainings, or how they live their life, you know, also how they eat and on what they eat, and maybe less meat, less fish, or totally vegan. I mean, people are more, I mean, it does affect the industry. If I see like how the girls are working in my salon and boys, they were in the beginning a little bit depressive.
Yeah.
Because they were at home all the time, and in the beginning it was sort of nice, but then in the end they wanted to work, and when they could come back to work, they were tired all the time. And I was like, why are you tired? I mean, you know, you don't have kids or a house, but it was like physical and emotional. It was a very a hard ride, but it made them change how to spend their money. And in the hair industry, I think people are more willing to spend if it's really good instead of doing everything. So what you say, like there are less events, I think that's not a bad thing. I mean, you can also do a lot of things online, which there's bigger reach now. And in the beginning, people really thought, I mean, it's always nice to see each other like this. I mean, it feels different and there's a different emotion. But I do think it gives more, how do you say that in good English? When times are different and hard, more creative things are coming out. Also for me next year.
Oh, okay. Let's see what will come out.
Yeah. During COVID time, I designed something for the hair, which is a cool tool. But loose from that, the idea came from years ago when I worked in South Africa, and I lived there twice when I was 20 and 21. And then I always brought the food to the townships after productions because there was so much food left. So even there, it started with me that, oh, there's food. Normally everyone was throwing it away. And now we're bringing it to the townships. And then at the second year I came back, there were so many little children, and I asked them like, oh, so where do they live? I'm like, well, most of them, they don't have a house. And most of them, they get abused or raped in the middle of the night, starting from 2 or 3 years old. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, there will be a moment in my life when I grow up, then I want to give something back. So I can't do that yet, but I can start to make a ripple. So I designed something that most of it is from recycled plastic. And I made also something else that I will have special editions with different groups in the world where it's needed that I can provide them for work, and that you can also use in the hair.
Wow.
Not to tell too much. So it's going to be a circle, and hopefully one day I can build a school, and then on the top during the day we can train, and in the evening there are sleeping spots for children. But I mean, that's.
Wow.
I mean, it's one of my. I'm good now with my children and my husband, and
even as an idea is wonderful.
Well, I talk to a lot of people, and I have so many clients, and also clients with reachable and also amount of money that they want to invest, even though if it's steel or wood, and like, you're not going to pay me, you're going to go with me, and then you build it together, because you need to see and feel it. Otherwise, it's too easy just to give money. But I mean, that's like an ideally thing. I mean, I love my job a lot, but I do think I see myself as someone who's giving and want to share a lot of creativity, but also to make a ripple in the hair industry. Like, okay, if you join me, and you're gonna love this tool, even, and then so it's double. So you're gonna love the tool, but you're also gonna help not me, but other people to just survive in this world. Then hopefully to give an extra smile on everyone's face. Yeah. Let's see.
Congratulations.
Well, not yet. I think I still need some years for that, or maybe not. I mean,
No,
but at least I started.
Yeah. To have an idea about this, helping other people.
But I mean, I'm not the only one who is doing this. So I think COVID really pushed people to different limits. Helping the world, helping other children. It's not about me or you anymore.
Yeah. And I'm sure that your kids will be really proud of you.
Yeah, I hope.
This project.
I hope they were gonna. I mean, my only reason that I'm also doing it is that I don't want them to remember that oh, I did, like, you know, Tom Ford, and I did great campaigns and stuff, and of course working for the brand. But hopefully, if it's only 5 or 10% of their life, if they will give that to charity or something else, then I'm good. I think in Holland, yes, it's the same. I'm very blessed. I don't. Where's the wood?
Yeah,
I don't have that problem yet. Actually, I have people coming to me, but I also do think that because of the whole situation, it's the same with clients. They waited for a long time and then they would think like, I'm not really happy with this hairdresser and I'm here there for the last 10 years and I want to change. So they really search for good salons. And I think it's the same for hairdressers. Like, I work here, is this what I want in my life? People had a lot of time to think about their future. So I think the strongest, unfortunately, will survive. And I think everything that's underneath, they have to work harder. And it's difficult. I don't know why. It's not only in the hairdressing industry, it's also like in horeca, like the restaurants. My husband is a restaurant owner of Leonard, and also he has troubles to find people. We don't know where they are.
So it's not especially for hairdressing.
Everywhere. It's Schiphol. No, the airport of Holland. I mean, they don't have any people, and it's in the restaurants, it's in the hair industry, it's even with banks, and I don't know where people are making their money off now, but I also noticed that people want to work less, but they still want to make the same amount of money. I did quite a lot of things during COVID with Instagram and making films to tease hairdressers and clients. And that I would give as an advice if you're not that busy with your Instagram yet. I mean, make short movies of your salon and not too strict, a little bit more loose so people really feel how your salon is when you would come in. And maybe then you can, inspire hairdressers or, make them come to you. So I would use social media even more than ever. I would love to give my Turkish hairdressers a message that, I know you're all hair lovers, and keep on doing what you're doing. Always be open to learn, and hopefully always see that there's always 5 or 10% space to help other people in different ways. Stay tuned to my Instagram account, HESTER WERNET, because in the next coming months, even though I can't always see you, there will be a moment that you can always see me. And hope to come back again to see you all.
Great. Wonderful.